How do we move forward when life doesn't go as planned? Misfortune happens to everyone. We develop routines each day, month, year, and we plan things out as best as we can. We head into each day with the intention of them going a certain way, but that's not always how they end up. Life tends to throw us curveballs, and sometimes we strike out. But you learn and grow with each situation, and eventually we get another chance at bat. Remember this: what life throws at you is not your choice, but what you make of it is entirely your choice.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey.
Thank you. Of course, man. Have a good one.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm in Battery Park right now in Charleston, downtown. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. This scenery is unbelievable. You gotta see this tree right here. Wow, that is pretty cool. So I want to talk a little bit about when things don't work out as planned. As a person that deals with anxiety and depression, it's really hard for me to overcome certain curveballs in life. Whenever I develop a pathway in my brain of how I think a certain situation is going to go or a scenario is going to go, if something interferes with that or throws that off the track, then I tend to get really anxious and fixate on the problem and dwell and get really burdened and weighed down by the stress of why something didn't work out. The thing about life is rarely do things work out exactly the way that we want them to work out. So I've developed some tools that I think help me and can maybe help you of what I remind myself when things don't work out the way that I wish they worked out. The first one to think about is that life happens. And what I mean by that is that life just happens. Things don't work out for everybody in everyday scenarios. You're not alone. And more often than not, a certain situation or scenario not working out has absolutely nothing to do with who you are as a person or your work ethic or your talent or anything of that nature. Sometimes things just don't work out simply because they just didn't work out and there's nothing more. You know, I tend to go down a rabbit hole sometimes of thinking, why did this not work out? What did I do wrong? Was it me? I really dwell on certain scenarios, but then I try to remind myself, you know what? Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Maybe it just, the timing wasn't right or whatever, you know? Some things just don't work out. And 99.9% of the time, it has nothing to do with you as a person. So it's healthy to not beat yourself up over every little thing not working out. The next one to think about is that sometimes change is a good thing. I mean, if you think about us as human beings, we change every single day. Our taste buds change, our interests change, our bodies change, our friends change. So many things changes about us. Why would that not go hand in hand with other things in life? And if something doesn't work out, maybe it just might bring upon the change that you needed to make your life a little bit more interesting. Sometimes good can come from a bad situation. Most often not. I personally think more often than not, change is a good and healthy thing and that we need it to make life exciting. If things didn't change in our life and nothing progressed, life would get pretty boring. So we need change to make our lives more interesting. The next one is when one door closes, open another door. Like I said, when I reflect on things not working out in my life, almost every situation brought upon a change that I think that I ultimately needed. Now, it may not have obviously seemed like it at the time. They really helped me learn and grow. And I promise you that there is a lot more doors in life to be opened if a certain scenario or situation didn't work out for you. Sometimes unwanted situations help you reflect and assess your life at that current moment and really think about where you want to be in your life. And I promise you, if you just pick a door and open another one, it might present an opportunity that never would have happened if that current situation you were in worked out. So just keep opening doors. You never know what's on the other side. The next one is important, and that is to keep an open mind. When you go into a certain situation or an opportunity with a frame of mind that it might not work out the exact way that you wanted it to, it's easier for you to cope with and it's easier for you to understand. By not setting our expectations to an unreasonable goal, we're able to navigate and understand that life just happens. And if it worked out, great, but if it doesn't, it's more helpful to have that open mind and remember to not beat yourself up about it. If you keep an open mind about each situation, it presents an open lane for which that pathway can go. The next one is a good one, and that is maybe it was a blessing in disguise. We can get really discouraged when things don't work out, and sometimes, though it may not seem like it for some time to come, maybe it was just a blessing in disguise and something that you actually needed. Now, to be honest, I kind of struggle sometimes with the saying that everything happens for a reason, because I don't really want to sound like a hypocrite, but at the same time, my first thing on this list was that life just happens. And if you think about it, everything happens for a reason and life just happens. Some would say that those really don't go together. But to be honest, I believe in both. I feel like that if you have faith in whatever you may believe in the power of God or the universe or yourself, it can align a pathway for things to present themselves and happen when the timing is right. Maybe something amazing happened to you that would have never happened if the previous situation you were in had worked out. Or maybe if you're struggling right now, it's giving you the strength to help you get through the next thing that you might go through in your life. I believe that we are given what we need and never too much that we can't handle. And maybe it was the pathway all along. I just want to take a brief pause and say that you might be watching this and be like, oh yeah, I know all of these things. They're all very common, easy, reasonable things. And that's the thing. Most often in life, the things that help us the most are the most easiest things or the most common things. But we take things for granted a lot of the times, and we forget, and we just go about life and we don't remember these easy things. So that's why I try to assess my life and my situation and make these videos that I can even watch back myself to remind myself of these certain things that I might forget from time to time. So in saying that, the next one is that you learn and grow from every situation. Personally, I've never in my life had something happen to me where I didn't at least learn something or grow from that situation. Though it might have been really challenging and trying at the time, you learn and grow from every situation, and from time to time try and look back on those certain situations or relationships or jobs and think about the lessons that you learned and the challenges that you overcame, and take those lessons and apply them to your life and use them moving forward, and rinse and repeat. The next one is challenging for a lot of people because it puts them in a vulnerable state, but that is to talk about your feelings. And what I mean by that is that with every hardship I've ever had in my life, it's very therapeutic to talk about your feelings or even write them down. You don't always have to share them with somebody, but I will say that it does help. Sometimes people do what's called like a burn letter or whatever, where you just write down your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, and then you burn it. You do it just to kind of get it out of you. But it is very therapeutic and helpful to talk to somebody that you trust, or a therapist, or a friend, or a parent, and just kind of let them know what's going on. Like I said, I know a lot of people don't like to do that because it might make them feel dumb or vulnerable, but I can assure you that once you open up to somebody, you quickly learn that a lot of people go through the same scenarios that you do in your life, and they might be struggling just the same as you and have some advice that can help you, and you might even have some advice for them that can help them through a situation. And though it might not make the situation immediately better, I've learned that it does help me when I learn that I'm not alone and that other people have gone or going through the same thing I'm going through. And the last one on my list is to turn your negative emotions into motivation. One of the things I like to do the most when a situation doesn't work out is use that frustration as fuel to push me forward, to motivate me to prove people wrong, to show that job, that partner, that boss, what they missed out on. And that you're not gonna let the negativity of that situation hold you back from moving forward. In fact, you're gonna do quite the opposite. To take those lessons and use them as fire under your ass to move you to the next level and prove everybody wrong that you are enough and can do whatever somebody else told you you can't do. Sometimes we need that fire under our ass to push us to the next level, because let me tell you, there is no greater revenge than success. And on that note, I'm gonna end this video. There's nobody in this world that goes through life with everything working out perfectly. So when things don't work out, I feel that if we can remind ourselves of these key points that I just labeled in this video, it can help ourselves ease through the situations a little better and help us become more successful at managing the current situation at hand. I could talk more and more about this, but I'm gonna end it there. So thanks for watching. Peace out. I'll see you in my next video.